It's a lovely day in the month of May, and the spirit's rising high. Throw the saddle on old Buck, and down the lane we'll fly. Chickens scatter left and right, old Mitzi running high. Buck and I come sailing by on our Sunday ride. Sunday ride, a young man's pride. Look at Buck and me. The world is at our fingertips, and everyone can see.
I'm Mick Mertz, and my dad was the late Millard Calvin Mertz, who was born in 1917. Now, his father, Ralph Burton Mertz, better known as Farmer Mertz, was operating the last livery stable in Northumberland, Pennsylvania at the time of my father's birth. That's actually a postcard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the oldest fire engine in Pennsylvania.
Oh, so it was the oldest fire engine in Pennsylvania back
then, and I think they still have it there at that fire company. Sold them or traded them, I don't know if he split them or people later split them, but there was an old horse dealer that lived up here at Iola that I used to hear the story that he had Billy when he was old, and he found Topsy and he got them back together, and that he had them skinned when they were died. Learned where he lived, and I went to see him to try to get the story, and he had Billy.
You still had him, or
No,
you only had?
He had Billy.
Oh, okay.
Up there where he lived, and he found Topsy. Some lady had her like a retired pet around Milton. She wouldn't sell her, but somehow he talked her into selling her to him, and she agreed if, when she died, he would skin her and give her the hide.
I think they did that a lot in those days, or at least
So
some.
I don't know what she did with it.
Which horse is this? Do you know?
I heard already. I think they called her Babe. That was a little pony they had at the livery stable. I don't have any memory of her, but that was a little basket. You see
You
the
probably
card.
weren't born because Grace and
No.
Ralph are there, and Grace is only a baby, so he wasn't even
Yeah,
born.
see, that was a basket, woven basket. Well, her and the little Ralph remembered, he said Pop had all kind of rigs, He would rent horses and rigs out. People, in those days, people lived in town, they didn't all keep a horse, but I guess everybody knew how to drive one, so if they wanted to go, say, to Danville or Milton or something, they'd go to the livery stable and rent a horse and buggy for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when they put those railroad yards in, they're out along the river out to Milton, towards Milton from Northumberland. And my Pop's granddad, my great-granddad, that was his farm and his home there, that they took the land for the railroad yards. And they moved the brick home from down below up above the road. It sits there yet. It's Veterans of Fire and War's home now, but they've covered the brick with some kind of siding. Anyway, at the time they were putting those yards in, Pop had the livery stable, and he had a number of teams working there, plus other people had teams, and he was supposed to be the foreman of all the teamsters. He used to brag about the engineers' land track. He said, I could get down to sight and I could tell if they were on the level or upgrade or what.
receipt from your father's business?
Yep. Yeah, that's the receipt. And what does it say?
6 rigs to funeral for 12
yeah,
bucks?
1911. That was my great-grandmother, Mom's mother's mother. Margaret Burns. We used to call her Maggie Burns.
At that time, the livery stable business was slowly dying because of the automobile coming into more usage. So, a few years after my dad was born, Farmer Mertz moved the family to a farm near Danville at the eastern end of the Montour Ridge. After having started out in Northumberland, near the western edge of the ridge. Farmer Mertz never gave up on the horses. He farmed with horses. Horses were his only transportation. He was still driving his horse and buggy into Danville into the 1950s. And my dad, he loved horses his entire life, farmed with horses. In my early years, I helped farm with horses. We all grew up in the shadow of the Montour Ridge, and we never gave up the horses. So horses were always an important part of my dad's life, and he was a great storyteller. He told us many times, repeated many stories over and over about his life with horses and exciting times he had with him and his dad, the horses they've known through the years.
So I rode that horse. We get over there, this mare, as usual, run out in this field. I had a rope, wasn't a long rope, but I was going to ride up alongside of her and try to get it on her. And I was really pushing her out in that field. When I got up almost beside her, she was on the edge of this. Did she go down over that almost straight? She went.
Cliff?
No, she went sliding down. Got away from us. Then she started roaming around. Clyde Croom, all coal and fertilizer and stuff. He was coming by Knoble's Grove that, I guess, next Monday, and he saw her out in the field over by Knoble's.
So that's when she changed her territory, when she went over the cliff that time?
Yeah, when I chased her over the edge.
What is it, Mickey?
She was fat as
A
a
horse? So who owned that horse?
Pop was supposed to, but he couldn't catch her.
Who?
My dad.
Oh, you're talking history.
Yeah.
You said in the month somebody's coming. I thought maybe something just happened.
I didn't say somebody's coming.
But Pappy said next month,
Monday.
next Monday.
The next Monday.
Monday after she went
Oh,
over
the next Monday then, 100 years ago. Okay.
It wasn't 100 years ago. Pappy's not 100.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess it was the next weekend. She was up on our Bush's farm. She worked her way up to Rushtown, was on Kirkowski farm.
Oh, Krakowski. Where did you say Bush? Was it Bush?
Busha.
Oh, Busha. Oh, okay. So that would have been when they already were there? When Krakowskis were there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
That was.
But you didn't know Mom or the
that was
Krakowskis?
Yeah, I did. I was married when we were chasing that.
Oh.
And living home with.
Boy, that's kind of a coincidence. She ended up there, huh?
But I don't think anybody chased her up there, but then she roamed on down by the Riverside Airport. And people went there. I didn't go with them and chased her. And whoever it was, the dummies, they chased her and she run in a gate in a fenced-in field. Instead of shutting that gate, they went in there and chased her and she got away and got out. And she moved on down around Klein's Grove. In spring then, ground soft and everything. And one Sunday, a couple of young fellas come to our place and they wanted to try to catch her and wanted to make a deal with Pop. You know, what they get out of it if they caught her. So I don't know what they made out, but they left. A while later they come back and said, yeah, we found her. Somebody shot her.
Oh,
She's out tramping over people's wheat field in the wet spring, you know, and somebody shot her.
Did your dad just buy one horse, or did you say he had bought more than one of it?
Oh, he was always trading.
But that particular deal, he was just for one horse?
No, he got a bunch of, she was the best one out of the bunch, I guess. The rest were smaller. She was a, you know, a chunky, nice built mare.
What color was she?
Bay, as I remember.
Oh yeah, I don't think I ever heard the color.
Anyway, he's always trading horses, you know. It's hard telling what kind of deals.
funny, my dad traded camels. And your dad traded
I
horses.
didn't have any camels on mine. Anyway, for example, one night he had traded horses with somebody. And they come there late at night delivering this horse. They had this Rex, remember Rex that I had?
Yeah.
So Pop thought I ought to trade for that horse. They'd set a half a day or night tinkering back and forth trying to make a trade. And usually they had a bottle they were sipping.
You should have gave my dad zillion horses for me and 500 whatever, sheeps and stuff. You give him nothing.
Well, anyway, I had Henry and I had this little moleskin colored horse that I bought from Pop. He was not very big and he would balk now and then.
What is a moleskin color?
Sort of a,
Maroon.
Is it a kind of a gray?
yeah, you don't see much of him. Anyway, I sort of liked him, but anyway, he wasn't a real good horse for might let you sit, so Pop got me dinkering with him until it was over. I think I gave him the horse and the calf and the goat for Rex. That's kind of dealing they do. So this time, Pop had traded, I forget, it was 2 or 3 horses for 5. And this mare was one of them.
And was that mare just like, was she a broke mare, or she was just a totally
They
unbroke?
were supposed to be rodeo stock.
So they were bucking horses.
That's, the others were smaller. And I don't ever remember what he did with them.
Probably took them home and hooked them up, put them to work.
Anyway, I think it was one of them. We had them in the box stall with a pole between them, and I went in there with my mom and pointed. I said, see that brand on his hip? And when I pointed, wham, he hit me. He kicked. Anyway, when they were trying to load him, this mare went to get on the truck, and I had a long rope on her. I don't know if there was more than one on the rope or what, but somehow she reared back and got loose. And run with that rope from Catawissa. She got up there around that hill and stayed there all winter. There was cornfields where they had picked corn, but there was no corn laying around and stuff. She was fat.
But for the sake of the boys now, Al, when you were galloping after her and you were a young man like their dad, you were galloping along saying Yahoo and ride 'em cowboy. Is that right?
No.
Did I get the story right when I told? I think.
You can dress it up all you want.
Because that's the way they got it. Pappy's riding along, Yahoo! Ride 'em cowboy! And he's almost catching this horse and he's standing up in his saddle. And
That's you. And we got that man you didn't know how to neck rein.
Yeah, Queenie.
She jumped over the fence and went running up through the pasture. And I had her off. I thought you were scared. You hollered, yippee, or something.
Yeah, I can remember first I was scared and then I start getting understanding about the neck reining and feeling like I had control. So then all of a sudden it went from being a scary thing to fun.
She was a good old mare for kids and all. And when I sold her to Butch Hilton. And his kids grew up with her.
So she must have not been terribly old then if she grew up with another whole family.
I bought her for $31.
I think I remember being with you when you bought her. I remember going to horse auctions at Danville there when they were a lot, like a lot of the last